What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of BurlyFishing. Today, I've got a special unboxing for you. This right here is a fantastic little box that you guys can get if you're fishing for multi-species, if you're going after panfish, walleye, if you want an ice fishing box. These guys do some pretty cool stuff. Really, like, the special thing about this is that this is Seasons Tackle, and the only reason we got this box from them is because we unboxed Midwest Warriors bait and tackle. If you guys remember the little subscriber unboxing just a couple videos back. Links in the description below. You can go check them out. But we can thank Patrick and Michael Long. So Patrick and Michael connected me with Justin over at Seasons Tackle, and Justin decided to send us the Panfish Ice Fishing Box. The silver edition, this is a box that goes for $49.99, and I gotta tell you guys, it's packed full of baits. Before we unbox this thing so you guys can see all of what's in here, if you guys like content like this, gear reviews, unboxing videos, and fishing, you might want to stick around for the channel. So consider subscribing, smash a like on this video, it helps us out a lot, and ring that notification bell so you can see when we drop more content. You can also hang out with me and my buddy Paul as we talk all things fishing and not every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Join us on YouTube or Twitch, and you can talk to us in chat. It's a lot of fun. I would love to see you guys there. I got a confession to make with you guys. I already opened this box. This is gonna be one of the first or very few unboxings, other than when I like order my own stuff from a website where I already know everything that's in here. The surprise element is ruined, and I didn't do it on purpose. You guys, for the first time in 175 videos, I actually deleted all of my footage on accident. I reformatted my memory card, and I had a little miniature breakdown and tantrum thrown today, so just we'll leave it at that, right? The point is, I contacted Justin. I said, hey man, I screwed up. And this guy is so cool that he literally walked through every bait in this box, told me where it came from, what the company name was, by recognition, within 5 minutes, mind you. This guy knows his stuff. So if you guys are interested, again, go to seasonstackle.com. Go check them out. Make some dope stuff, and they're really cool and easy to talk to. Thank you so much to Justin for sending us this box, and thank you so much for spending some time this afternoon helping me identify tiny ice fishing jigs. Let's get to this unboxing. All right, so first things first, right out of the box, they hooked us up with a nice little jig box. They got their logo on it right there. If you guys aren't familiar with boxes like this, if you don't fly fish or ice fish, this is the way we store them. We got a bunch of tiny little jigs, or they're gonna get banged up if you just put them into open containers. So typically, we'll just put them into these little slotted foam or sometimes like rubber silicone material double jig boxes. So this is double-sided. You can fit a ton of jigs in here, probably around, I don't know, 60 or so, like a ton of jigs. So this is awesome. This is a really cool inclusion right here. Got a lot of value from that already. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill it with all the jigs in this box. So let's walk through it. So I'm gonna start with this thing first so you guys can get sort of a better understanding of what we're gonna be looking at with these ice fishing boxes. Now, there will be some good variation. There are things like body baits and spoons that you can fish with, but a lot of the time you're gonna see jigs and microscopic plastics. But the way I want you guys thinking about it, if you don't ice fish, is that you could use rigs like this for crappie fishing, for pan fishing in general, or maybe you go on a little road trip up north to where there's ice, hang out with some cool guys and have some fun times just jigging a rod with these microscopic friggin' baits. Look at that thing. This is a jig. This is what we're gonna be looking at today. If anything else, if you don't ice fish, just live vicariously through me. Check these out. These are like a wonder of fishing tackle. I think you're gonna enjoy some of the baits in this box, so stay tuned. All right, so this is the first one. This is a little tiny jig. Now this sort of teardrop shape that you get, it's got the line tie right up here at the top. So it's gonna sit horizontally. So it's gonna give you this horizontal presentation off that hook of a plastic, or a lot of times we'll fish with like wax worms, sometimes like gulp worms or minnow heads or live minnows and all sorts of different stuff. And sometimes you can just rig them up to these tiny little hooks. The reason these things are all gonna look so small and ridiculous is because it's in the winter, under ice. These fish are not really feeding up. They're very lethargic, and they're feeding on microscopic organisms in the water. You're gonna see some really cool plastics here today, but they're eating just like little insects and larvae and crazy stuff like that. And that one, these are all, by the way, from small brands, which I think is super cool. They just pack this box full of these small brands. So here's Outdoor Hookers. That's his first jig right there. And as we go, we're just gonna plug these into our little jig box here. Next up, these are from a company that came in the MTB box and we might see more of in the future. But these right here are from a company called Widowmaker. They make some pretty slick ice fishing jigs. So these right here are more of like a tube style. They actually represent like a wax worm. And they come in this purple with that pink highlight. Look at that. That looks awesome. And a lot of times too, these are gonna be like glow resin that's on these, because you're getting low UV. The ice is kind of blocking a lot of the rays from the sun getting through the surface of the water. So if you send something down there with like a glow resin on it or in these brighter, vibrant colors, it's gonna do a better job standing out and be more likely to get picked up by a fish on the bottom. Cool thing too about these Widowmaker ones is that it came as a pair. And if you guys know anything about fly fishing or ice fishing, you're gonna have like your favorite jig, your favorite fly. And if you lose it, you don't wanna let that ruin your day. So having pairs of them can save your life sometimes. It can save your day. You lose one jig, you got another, it's okay. Next up, we got from B Woods Hooks, 2 different lures. Here's where you're gonna see some of the variation now. This is kind of cool, check this out. So first up, we've got just a bigger size of that first jig that we saw, right? So it's more of that teardrop shape. You've got red on top, slick little stripe pattern, black and white spots on the bottom. So it's a cool little pattern there. Longer shank to the hook so we can plug. This is something I might throw like a minnow head or something a little bit bigger than a wax worm on, right? But that all around looks pretty gosh dang great. So we're gonna get a lot of size variation in this box, which is awesome. That's what we want. And then we're gonna get some things like this. Look at this thing. So we've got, look at this pattern. It's like chartreuse with this black splatter pattern on it, which looks fantastic. So this is more like a spoon, right? So it's that curved body. It's gonna fall in the flutter style, looking like a dying bait fish or very small organism dying in the water. It's still not big. And then we've got this, look at this treble, little baby treble there, tiny guy. But I just love the pattern on this thing. Look at that, that's fantastic. That's what we want to see. Both of those from that same company, B Woods Hooks. So that looks awesome. Here's another one of those little spoon styles. This one's from Funk's Jigs. We've got more of a fish representation to this one. They're hard to hold because they're so tiny. So this one's got like the fish eyes on it. Look at that. Sort of this rainbowy, glittery pattern. So this one's gonna have a lot more flash. You're gonna see glitter and glow in a lot of these different lures, like I said. And then we got the tiny little treble again right there. But that's a good looking one. That's super tiny. I think it's 1/32 of an ounce. Very light stuff. We're using extra light tackle because you're gonna get very subtle bites. That's why we use super light line, we use super light rods, we're using very tiny tackle. It's what you gotta do to plug some fish. And you can still catch some big uns with these things too. Like you'll accidentally hook into a largemouth. You get a pike sometimes. That's amazing and surprising. Imagine fighting a pike on one of these tiny jigs. It can be done, it will be done. And then walleye, if you get in the right spot, it's gonna be sick. We did a podcast on this, by the way, just about a week or so ago. So if you wanna go back in the podcast or the live episode catalog, you can check out our podcast on ice fishing. Learn more. Got a cool little jig here from Larson's Quality Jigs. Check this out. So it's like black and white, but look how those spots are raised. Those dots are like glow resin. And at the top here, you can see it a little bit. There's a light crystal. So that little light crystal there is gonna give us some added light refraction as well. So it's just gonna pop a bit more. Again, with that teardrop shape. This is a pretty common jig style. This is one that I have a ton of, and it's kind of the style I fish the most with that horizontal presentation. I just like that a lot. Got one here from Premier Custom Jigs. This is a 1/16 of an ounce. They call it Wonder Bread. And this is a new style to me, not a style that I've fished much. Again, we got this glow resin on that, so there's that Wonder Bread look, right? You got those different colors, just like the Wonder Bread logo. We got a red shank on this one, shaking things up. Sometimes you're gonna see red a bit in the ice fishing gear that we unbox. It just seems to be a color that draws more bites. But tube style, still horizontal presentation. You can see the line tie right on top. Just a little different shape to it. And with that glow resin popping off of this, it should, you know, shimmer and shine a bit more. Also, pro tip from somebody in the comments on the MTB ice unboxing from last month. Use a flashlight to power up your glow resin. Pro tip. Thanks, whoever that was. Sorry, I can't remember your name, but you're awesome. Thank you. We got 12 gauge jigs. Gauge spelled weird because that's his name. We pack the power. I like that slogan. Nice. And this one's interesting. Check this out. So we have this pink color with all of this like sparkly material on there, sequins, if you will. So it's gonna shimmer and shine. It's probably gonna look pretty dang good in the water. So that's an interesting little combo we got there, eh? Practicing my ice fishing talk. Here's a really cool one that I liked. So this one's from JG's Custom Lures. It's gonna look familiar to you bass guys out there, but look at this. We got a lipless with just a rear treble. It's kind of got that same Wonder Bread pattern, right? The blue, yellow, and pink. Hot pink on the face here. You can definitely use lipless baits, especially smaller lipless ones. Blade baits we use, spoons, stuff like that when you're ice fishing for sure. And I'm excited to see what this thing looks like in the water. But yeah, so it's probably gonna predominantly look like this when you're ripping it. It's gonna go like head up because it's just got that rear treble there hanging down from it. But interesting, bright, flashy, one treble. I don't know. No rattle, it's silent, but it looks gosh dang good. Next up, we got two cool ones from Ice Bug Lures. We've got this like trippy, I'm calling it lava lamp. The Incredible Hulk lava lamp here, which is a teardrop style in this like purple and green with a red hook. That looks pretty gosh dang phenomenal. I love the color on this thing. It looks great. Can't wait to fish it. It's definitely a bit bigger than all of the other jigs that we've been playing around with today. Then we've got this bad boy right here, which looks like definitely some sort of insect larvae, almost like a dragonfly kind of shape to it. Look at the eyes on this thing. So those eyes are those light crystals again. We've got kind of glow resin, that glow paint throughout. And then you've got the red hook all around, like really unique shape, interesting look to it. Definitely interested to see how the fish take to this thing, but I like that. I like that a lot. So we're just filling this jig box up, man. This is a ton of lures you get. Got another one from Premier Custom Lures here. This is another 16th ounce, round shape. Sunfish Glow, they're calling it. So it's got that glow material to it. It's a ball head jig. Still gonna sit horizontally, got a nice red shank to it. I like this shape of this hook. See that extra deep bend there? So it might be a little bit easier to keep fish pinned with these, but it's a good like glowing fire tiger combo. Nice. And we got a sticker and a jig from these guys, 80K Custom Jigs. Also a couple plastics I think they included, we'll get back to in a second. But this is hands down like one of my favorite color patterns I think I've like ever seen in a jig. So we got like this orange to this chartreuse with that splatter. Saw that on that other like spoon jig earlier. It's a great color. I love this thing. It looks so good. So juicy. Second favorite colorway in this whole pack. Check this one out. This is, I'm calling this Dexter. This is the blood splatter. So it's got this red splatter pattern all the way throughout. Look at that thing. It looks so good. And it's like this base chartreuse color to it as well. That looks fantastic. That one was from Kangbro Lures. We got some plastics coming up from them in a second. Then we got a little four pack from Jig Mania, who also has some plastics coming up. So I'm gonna go through all four here real quick. So we've got this round shape, long shank, lots of glitter on that one too. Little greens, oranges, and whites to it. This front is gonna be glow. These all have like a glow material on them. Got these two with more of a unique shape to them as well. Just that straight body. Just looks awesome. There's like this eye on the front of them. One in that darker color, purple, white, and red. Then we got the bright color like that orange, yellow, green. Both look fantastic. Again, longer shank hooks on all of these compared to a lot of those other smaller jigs. So you're going to be putting like tiny wax worms on some of the small jigs. On these big guys, you can step things up a little bit. Go to a bigger live bait, go to bigger plastics. Gives you some options. Like this one a lot too. It's got the glow material on the front. Got the eyes on both sides, actually. Check that out. That's a dope looking jig right there. That's right, I said dope, kids. So right there, guys, we got 16 jigs in all different sizes, all different colors. This is a huge variety. And go check out ice fishing jigs, guys. They ain't cheap. All right, then we got a pretty cool little 6-pack of jigs right here. It's from TaylorMade Jigs. It's these guys right here. This is the kind of fish I want to pull through the ice right now. But check this out. They gave us a cool little tin for them. And it's 6 jigs, 3 pairs. So if you lose one, you got a spare of all of these. Not to mention that they look amazing. So what we've got here is like that longer body, ball head jig, horizontal presentation. It's got this awesome deep sweep hook. This is going to keep the fish pinned a little bit better. Check it out. This is like a tied material. So we got some flash in there. This reminds me a lot more of like hair jigs or fly fishing, tying up jigs like this. So we got the nice red paint to that, black material with a little flash to it. Then we got like this streamer material coming off the back and that red with that chartreuse tail. Fantastic color. We got more of a gold variation here. Very flashy material on this one. Same chartreuse, little like yellow streamer material on the tail. Then we got our silver boy. Little white tip, shiny material, gray on the tail. And look at this. It's like almost purple. Reminds me of like the electric shiner flash that you get in some plastics. That looks fan-freaking-tastic. So those are a lot bigger, targeting bigger species. Those are like more like crappie jigs, but you can definitely catch bass and maybe pike, bigger fish on that. So now we got those beautiful pairs right down there at the bottom in this jig box. That does it for the jigs, guys. So we got all those jigs there, as well as a couple of these cool little spoon jigs and that lipless bait. But we ain't done, so hang on. This also came with a bunch of plastics, and actually this cool little guy right here, if you guys never heard of this is a spring bobber. So spring bobbers are this ultralight material that attach to the tip of your rod and allow you a lot more sensitivity when you're jigging, right? So this is one of those things. Look up a couple of videos on these things, but it's one of those things that could allow you to have an amazing day over an okay day or over a bad day. Like you might be missing bites. Like I said, they're very subtle. Something like this can really save the day for you. And I just want to point out too that this one's made in Michigan. So this is the Ice Strong titanium spring bobber. That's a really cool thing. I'm going to attach this to one of my ice rods this year. We'll put it to the test. So here's the cool thing. You guys know I like to do on the water reviews, unboxing all these ice boxes. I'm going to store it up. I'm going to organize it. When we go out on the water, the hard water, when the ice finally comes in, Paul and I are going to fish all these things. So we're going to give you guys callbacks. I'll keep Seasons Tackle jigs in this, Seasons Tackle only. So I know if it came from the Seasons Tackle box versus my MB and MTB lures that I'm getting as well. So finally we get to the plastics. So let's just run through these. We've got Chaotic Bait Co., which had one of the coolest looking plastics I've seen in a while. Check this out. Tube style body with 5, count them, 5 little appendages with a ball on the end of each, giving it added action. This is it. This is the microorganism type stuff that these fish are feeding on under that ice. They don't need to eat big meals, man. Lower metabolism at that point. So that's the kind of stuff you're throwing around. You're looking for something that has a ton of action in a small size. It's really what we're looking for. This was cool. So we got Jig Mania here. Not for human consumption. These ones stink. These smell really bad. But these came in a bunch of different shapes and sizes. So we got like a little fish pattern there. We got like a tube with a dangle dongle. Call that one the dongle. This guy right here, you know, whatever that is. And then we got like this one. Then we got these, and this will lead me to my next plastic. which is just like a straight little tentacle. Tons and tons of action, and these just thread onto those jigs. That's all you, sometimes that's all you need, a little tiny plastic, or you can go obviously for live bait too. Next one I want to jump into, this is back to the Kangbro lures. They included that really cool looking blood splatter jig. But look at this. So this is basically a collection of tentacle plastics. Comes with the, this middle piece is what you just rip it off of. That's not something you actually fish, but like bright pink, it's glow material. So we just rip off one of these little tentacle things. We can adjust it to whatever size we want, thread it on a jig, go catch some dang hogs. We've also got really cool stuff like this one from IJO Plastics. Look at these little like termite looking, look at that. Look at all the appendages on this thing. That's absolutely crazy. Really juicy in there, so I'm not gonna open that one up yet. These are really cool too. So this is from the 80K. Look at that. Little tube body and this little like branch appendage there. It's gonna have a ton of action. And finally, I thought this one was really cool. So this is from Numbnuts Bait Co. Check it out. The Rainbow of Craws. Look at these things. Just a little micro craw. Look at that thing. It's gonna have a ton of action. Looks fantastic. Really well done. And you get the sampler pack of colors. Like choose a color, figure out what they're biting, get after them. Oh yeah, we did get a couple stickers too. We got Kangbro sticker. We'll hook you up. Reminds me of that SNL skit. We want to pump you up. We got Seasons Tackle. That's a pretty sick looking sticker right there. That's got to go somewhere. Probably on my sled or something. Got to put it on the ice fishing stuff. I'm taking my boat out there. Then we got ADK Custom Jigs. That's a really slick sticker as well. So we ended up with 22 jigs in this box. 5 bags of plastics. Each bag of plastic holding dozens of plastics. And then we also got 3 body baits in this thing. I think we scored. You guys. This was awesome. So again, I got to thank Justin over at Seasons Tackle. Appreciate you, brother, sending me this box. He's talking about sending some other boxes, maybe even some next year, another season, right? Seasons Tackle. They changed their stuff up for this season. Wow, what a thought. That's crazy. So maybe we'll get some cool, appropriate stuff in the future as well. And we'll go fish around with that for sure. Obviously, this is so many heckin' lures, and it would take this video 17 hours to finish if I dunked everything in the tank. So I'll tell you what, we'll do some underwater action in another video another time, and you guys can stay tuned to see some really cool ice fishing plastics and different jigs. Maybe Paul and I will get together and knock that one out for you. Maybe we'll go out on the ice and I'll hold a camera underwater and do it. I don't know, but that'll be coming your way if that's something you guys are interested in. You know what? I'll tell you this. Just drop it in the comments below. Do you want to see more underwater or in the tank ice fishing tackle specifically? If yes, comment below. All in all, for this box being $49.99, I think we got a killer value. As I said before, ice fishing tackle ain't cheap. It may be small. That doesn't mean it's cheap. For example, those Widowmaker jigs, they're tungsten. That's probably like $5-6 for 2, right? So this is a lot of value here, guys. I think it's awesome. I think you guys should definitely check them out. Seasons Tackle, once again, go check it out if you're looking for some cool tackle. If you guys are ice fishing like me, you can get like one of these boxes. They even have bigger ones that are $100 up to $200. I think they have a platinum box, so think of 4 times the size of this box. You could buy, like, just get started, 1 box. $200, you got everything you could ever possibly need to go ice fishing, except for maybe a rod and reel, bucket, sled, auger, coat, coffee, whiskey. You'd have all the fishing tackle you need. That's the point. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You've been awesome as always. If you like content like this, you want more gear reviews, unboxing, and fishing videos, consider staying tuned to the channel. Subscribe to BurlyFishing. Smack the like on this video. That's right, I said smack it. Ring that notification bell so you can see when we post more videos. And I'll see you guys out on the water.